Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Twitch channel. I don't know what's the title anymore. Used to be Solving Advent of Code in Rust, but lately we have been just playing with Rust and different things. So I guess we are just going to call it Playing with Rust and Learning Rust.
Yeah, but playing with Rust, there is a video game called Rust, so let's...
Right, that might be very confusing. Anyway,
Yeah.
my name is Luciano, and we have...
Roberto?
So today we want to try to keep experimenting with Rust, but before we get into that topic, let me do a super quick introduction. If you don't know this channel, we have been streaming for about 1.5 years, I believe, or maybe 2 years.
2 years.
2 years now, so a while, I guess. And so we have been streaming mostly about Rust. Sometimes we've done a little bit of Python, sometimes a little bit of JavaScript, but it's mainly the place where we play with new technologies and we try to learn new things. So definitely feel free to join us if you want to follow, subscribe, whatever. You can find it here on Twitch, or you can find us on YouTube. And this is the channel where you can find all the recordings. If I can type in the chat. So with that being said, feel free to follow, subscribe and everything, and we can get to the topic of the day. So today we want to play a little bit with Axum, which is a Rust web framework. Full spoiler, we haven't used it yet. So this is going to be our first live try of this framework. And also this framework is very interesting because it's part of the Tower project, which is one of the most famous async runtimes for Rust. And this is also something that we didn't really do a lot so far. So we're going to have our very first live experience with both building HTTP web frameworks with Axum and also using async in Rust. What could possibly go wrong? I don't know. We're probably going to find out.
Everything. Just everything. Come on.
Hey, W. Gaffa, great to seeing you here. How are you today? If you have any experience with async Rust and Axum, we are definitely going to rely on your support because I'm sure we're going to do all the silly mistakes that you could possibly imagine. Okay, so should I share my screen and we'll get straight into it?
Yeah, let's calculate something.
Perfect. Okay, you should see my screen and it should show the README for Axum, which, by the way, I'm just going to drop the link in the chat. And let's have just a quick look at what it looks like what is the usage example. But I think we want to try to do something even simpler than this. So there are a bunch of imports. There is a main which uses Tokyo. This is because it's async. So this async main with this decorator is actually creating the async runtime, using the actual main and wrap it around an async runtime. So we don't have to initialize it ourselves. At least I know that about async Rust with Tokyo, but that's probably as much as I know. And then there is a bunch of stuff. So there is a router here, which is interesting. So apparently this example creates two routes. One is a get slash, another one is a post users. And I think this router is just wiring endpoints with functions that probably implement that business logic for this particular endpoint. And there are these kind of wrapper methods for get and post. Then we have our address, which is probably just to create a socket on localhost port 3000. And then what we do, we probably initialize the server, binding it to that particular address. We start to serve this app into make service. I have a vague idea what that might be. Then we await and wrap, and I think this is just going to spawn our server and start to listen for requests on this particular address.
Yeah, question. Do you have idea what is that tracing debug there that is initialized as the first line and is used to debug the listening on?
Yeah, I think this is a third-party library that is probably used
So we
for like
need to install
tracing
that
log.
too.
I think is optional. I would like to try going on without this, just like
Okay,
trying to
sure.
do the bare minimum, and then maybe we can deep dive and try to figure out what this is.
Okay.
The other interesting thing, this app into make service, I'm going to take a guess. I know that basically this async runtime Tokyo, this one, is built like as a combination, like an ecosystem of libraries. And one of the libraries is called Tower, which is kind of a middleware engine that is built around this concept of service. I only know this because they use the same abstraction in the Rust Lambda runtime, which is built on top of Tokyo as well. And basically, my understanding in this application, when you call into make service, is kind of turning your own application instance into a service so that you can attach easily middlewares.
You can put that in the tower of services.
Exactly. Now, I don't think we are gonna, again, we're gonna explore this unless we have a lot of time and we do a lot of progress, but something to look into later on. Now, let's look at the methods, like how do we actually implement endpoints? We have a root and we have a create user, which are functions. And this is a thing where it gets very interesting. Like this is just a plain async function that returns a static string. So this is probably as much as we need to implement an hello world. Notice that there is no response object or request object. You can probably add all this stuff, but you can also keep it very simple if you don't need anything sophisticated. Now, I expect that there are like transformers that will take this and convert it into a proper HTTP response. Okay, and we have another create user. In this case, we have this JSON payload, which is probably a way to read the JSON body from the incoming request. And we can also give it a type, create user. And then we get this user and we return a tuple. So this is giving us the opportunity to return a status code and a JSON response. Does that make sense?
What you return there? Implement into response.
Yeah, my guess, and we'll need to double check the documentation, is that Axum has like a generic concept of response. So whatever implement this trait can be a response. And they probably implemented by default this trait for static string or this tuple
For a tuple
where,
for a tuple of 2 elements.
Where the first one is the status code and the second one is the body. Now, I'd be curious if you want to return headers, how to do that. We'll probably need to look the documentation.
But let's start with the hello world side of this.
So the thing we need to do is to install Axum, and that's about it for starting, right? So let's cargo add Axum. Okay, it was quite fast. It's not like Bevy that takes forever.
It's not very Rust being so fast.
Then we definitely need to install Tokyo. Now, Tokyo has a lot of flags.
Tokyo is not a dependency of Axum, so you have it, no?
It could be, actually. Maybe we didn't need to install it, but yeah, let's see. So we definitely need...
the routing, the get.
Actually, let's do it. Let's copy all of this.
And remove stuff.
And then remove stuff. So we go to main, that. So what do? We have only the
let's remove the tracing subscriber, the post root, or comment or remove, we'll see. We need the line 8, we can remove line 9. We need the bind, the up, the wait, and the root function. Yeah, I don't think we need anything else. We need a semicolon in line 4.
I'm trying to see if Rust Analyzer starts. Yes, it did. And now it's ready to complain. So if we start this with cargo run, let's see what happens.
What is going to happen? Is installed in CERD already also?
Probably it's a dependency as well.
Probably, yes, at this point. Tokyo, see, there is tower. I didn't saw Tokyo, but there is tower there.
Okay, main function is not allowed to be async, probably because we are not using, is not importing this annotation correctly. Let's see what they do here. Okay, let me cargo remove.
But you
Okay.
have to import the router. Come on, router add
Oh yeah,
socket. You forgot to import all of those.
I forgot to import everything.
So
Quick
you can copy
fix.
from the documentation. Or you can fix with get also. Is getting the right get?
It's not liking it. I don't know why it doesn't like Tokyo.
No, you imported the right socket address.
I think so. The other one was Unix something. So
Okay, yeah. So if it's Unix something, yes.
okay. So now what are we missing? Let's see in the docs if they say something about Tokyo. They don't do anything special in terms of. Let's see if there is an example.
Can you show me the import in that example?
The import, there is no Tokyo explicitly.
There's no Tokyo there. There's just Axum : a bunch of stuff, CERD, and the standard net socket address. Okay. So probably we have to cargo add Tokyo at this point.
Probably. It's just that Tokyo has a bunch of. So we remove Tokyo. So if I'm going to try to do cargo run now, I think it's still going to complain because main is not allowed to be async. So this guy is not working. If we do cargo add Tokyo. Yeah, it's not adding any.
Yeah, so it was already there in theory.
But these are all the feature flags. Is has disabled all of them. So I think we need to add Tokyo macros for sure.
And how you enable flags here.
How do you enable flags? That's a good question.
Okay.
Just
Let me Google.
add enable flags. I'm also Googling it. Because we can go in cargo toml and in Tokyo, we can do this. We can do version equal that.
And features.
Features.
Yeah.
Actually, let's get it full.
Yeah, all in.
Because we don't know exactly what we need.
Qua ma bundere them the feature.
Okay, now cargo is downloading the world and compiling the world.
Yeah, now I recognize Rust.
Now it's running. It didn't say anything because we are not printing. So now if we do curl local host
Well, you can choose the browser, but anyway.
2000, hello world. So it is working. Perfect. So what do we do next? Do we try to turn this into JSON?
Do we try to return a new root slash hello slash something and just return a JSON? Okay. So let's add a new root.
What do we call it? Hello, just hello.
Yeah.
Get
hello.
So it needs to be async.
Async function hello.
And what does it return?
Return an impl of what was
IntoResponse.
IntoResponse, exactly.
Now I think
And
this will work as it is. It's just not going to be JSON yet.
Is okay. You have to import
We need to
that.
import it. So this is just to prove that a static string implements IntoResponse. This is why this works.
There is no auto reloading, obviously. You have to cargo run again.
There is cargo watch that we can try. But yeah, let's try it. This is the previous one. And now if we do hello, it's hello world. Okay, how do we turn that into a JSON?
Yeah.
And how do we add headers to our response?
But well, in the example was just doing a JSON, the JSON around the string,
Let's look
returning
at
a
the
tuple.
example again. So in the example, they define this user.
Yeah, but that is just
and they were using this helper JSON user, where user is already using Serdi for, sorry, this one.
No, yeah, serialized there.
Mm-hmm.
So we can try to create an object hello with inside the word
Or
and
message,
then,
whatever, yeah.
yeah.
And then use this way of doing it, and then later on, actually, this one might just add already the application, the content type application JSON.
Yeah, that JSON is coming from Serde or coming from
I
Axum?
think it's coming from Axum.
There, yeah. It's coming from Axum. Cool.
Okay, so let's do.
Let's define our return type.
Struct message with message string, and basically what we want is derive serialize, and this one needs to come from Serdi. What did I do wrong? Does Serdi also have feature flags?
Oh, well, try to
derive. Yeah, we need to do the same. So I'm gonna go wild and do the same thing. Version equal this, and features equal full. Does it have a full?
I don't think. Does it have a full? I don't think so. Or yes.
It didn't complain.
Oh, well, okay.
Let's try again. Let's go back here. Now serialize is happy. Is it, or is just, oh yeah, it's just Rust Analyzer has exploded. No, it didn't like that. Okay, so let's do
derive.
Derive. But we probably want alloc as well.
Do you have to specify std also?
I would expect that that's a default one.
Yeah, there is a plus down there.
Okay, now it didn't explode anymore.
But you have to import serialize.
Probably import serialize.
Okay, now you can do that.
And now here we can return let message equal message to string. And now we return 200 and JSON.
Yeah, that 200 you have probably some. No, JSON, just the J capital. Son is lowercase. Yeah, from
we need
Axum.
to import it from Axum. And this 200 we also add. Oh, what is not liking?
That 200 probably should be a type, not an integer.
So what were they using here? Status codes from HTTP.
From Axum.
Okay, so they use it as status code created, but we want status code okay, probably.
Okay. What type is that? Is a type?
It's a status code. Oh, it's a tuple that contains also the descriptions, not just the status code.
For this reason, was not happy with
Okay.
just 200.
Okay, should we rerun this? Cargo run.
He was not happy with just an integer.
Okay, now it's running, and if we run this again, and with v, because we want to see the header, it is doing content type application JSON for us. Cool. So maybe one thing I want to do next is to try to see how to use cargo watch.
So when we make changes, we don't have to break and run again.
Exactly. Oh, I need to install it? I thought it was built in. Okay, then how you use it? Cargo watch.
Yeah, but
run.
Run with arguments. Well, run and nothing else. We don't need arguments.
Yeah, so let me try to see if I have it installed. Cargo watch was just run. X.
No, there was
run.
X. Yeah, and run single quote.
Cargo install cargo watch. Okay, this might take forever. 135
it's
dependencies.
fast today. Today is fast. So next, we want to create two endpoints, a get and a post, to save some kind of resources.
We could do that, like, yeah,
a
could
key
be
value
like
store in memory.
Exactly, like, I don't know, nodes or whatever that you can store. You get an ID and then you can use the same ID to access that node.
Yeah.
Like a paste bin API.
Yes, why not? Do we have a library to create a UUID in Rust? Yes, for sure.
There are a few, yeah. I think there is one for UUIDs and one for ULIDs, which are like lexicographically sorted. So,
okay, well, I don't care a lot about them being lexicographically sorted.
okay, so now I should be able to do this. Cool. So if we do a change saying hello JSON, it is restarting. That's pretty cool. Now if we run this again, hello JSON. Perfect.
Yeah, nice.
So this is working as we want. So we say that what we want to do next is to have some kind of data structure in memory that allows us to store
an HashMap in memory.
Okay, so let's see how can we do. I think we need to install lazy static to do that. So let me create another terminal, cargo add lazy static. And lazy static is a crate that allows you to create like static or globally available structs. So you can initialize them at build time, well, at runtime, and then you have them available like global data structures. So we want to do
nothing. It took no time to install it, so probably it was already a dependency of Axum.
Or maybe I add it in my cache because it's something I've been using. We also use it for Advent of Code for the regex.
True.
Okay, so basically, I think we need to do the this thing, the extern crate, to use lazy static. And then we can do lazy static. And now we can say static ref, what do we call it? Data.
Storage is our data store.
Yeah, storage. And it needs to be an HashMap of string to string.
UUID are strings or are one type?
Good question. Let's check first how to do UUIDs in Rust. So is this great?
It will probably have its own type. Yeah,
Use UID,
UUID.
ID, and it's of type UUID. Yes.
So let's
Okay.
cargo add the UUID. You will not
Oh,
find it.
it didn't give me V4 this way. Seriously? There must be a nicer way to do this. So if you know how to do cargo add with feature.
Yeah, or enable the feature from command line even. Why
V4.
Serde? Why Serde? Serde is a...
Maybe if you need to serialize.
Yeah, if we need to serialize the UUID in JSON, we need also the Serde feature. Makes sense.
I'm curious to know what is this JS thing, but whatever. For now.
Don't go down there. Don't
For
go
now,
there.
I'm gonna refrain. So okay, so we use a UUID and then a string, I suppose.
Yeah, let's go to a string. We don't care about.
And how do we initialize this? We initialize an HashMap new. So initially this is empty. UID needs to be imported. Cool. So we want to have, first of all, a post endpoint.
A post endpoint slash
I
slash
will.
name of the entity.
Okay, let's call it nodes, and we do two endpoint. We do route nodes. Thank you, Copilot. No, but I want it to be a post.
Yeah, Copilot, go home. You're drunk.
Create node.
Nice.
A good suggestion. And we need to import post, and we need to
We also
create,
need to create the note function.
and we need to create this function, which now is going to be interesting because I have no idea.
We have to take a body.
Okay. Copilot, I like where you're going. That might be what we want.
It's taking a body, a JSON body. Do we want to take a random string body for now?
That is true. Like we could accept any text, right?
Yeah, accept
Doesn't have to
everything
be.
and accept everything and then just change the parameters. Try to
Meanwhile, wGAFA was kind enough to tell us how to do cargo add UUID -- features. And I suppose this can be a comma separated string of features. Thank you for that. I hope I will remember next time.
Nah.
Okay,
Why?
so this is create node.
Yeah.
And
But keep everything that Copilot is suggesting you and just change line 37 to, can we take just a string? How do we do? Note,
yeah, not
colon
sure.
string?
I'm not sure how you get a raw body. Let's go here and maybe let's try to see if there is something else that is similar.
Okay.
Because this is just a struct. Is there like a raw body? Or a raw request? There is a request there. So what happens if we just take a request? Also, I'm not sure what this syntax is. It's already destructuring the node.
Try the raw body instead of JSON. Capital there instead of
Like raw body. Oh,
no,
there you
no.
go.
Yeah, but surround body with raw body, open closed brackets.
Oh, okay, but that's just the structuring, I think. Like, I think here will be Can you get body? Oh. Okay, yeah, you need to do 0. That's why. That's probably structuring it already. But I'm not sure then how do you read it. So it's giving you B, so you need to specify what B is, what kind of body is. So probably we can just say this, raw body of a string.
Go to the example for JSON in the documentation.
In the documentation, example for JSON.
You see that on the left there is a JSON payload. Try raw body something on the left.
Yeah, this is basically, if I understand correctly the syntax, this is just the structuring the tuple. So you don't need to say dot zero. It's already giving you payload as dot zero.
Okay.
But it's a good shortcut anyway. So we can do this anyway to avoid to do dot zero. And now I think raw body is a string. Let's try to see if we do body.
What is raw body? The
body at the moment. Body. For this body is a string. So hopefully that works.
We can use it as our node in line 41.
Okay, so we generate a UUID. That's good. Then we generate, we insert the node.
Yeah, and we suppose there are no collisions because UUID are quite good at this.
So this is just going to be body now, right?
Yeah.
Why doesn't
now it's not happy because cannot borrow data. The first is mutable.
Oh, we probably need to use a mutex there.
Probably. Let me see.
Okay, I think we'll need to use a mutex because this will be concurrent. It's async, but it's still like...
Yeah, we have to surround the HashMap with a mutex. Mutex is the standard library, right?
I think so, yeah. Now this is mutex new, right? Of this.
Yeah, mutex new of HashMap new.
Import from... Oh, there is also Tokyo sync mutex. Maybe we need to use...
Which one do we need to use?
Let's try to use this one because this is probably more optimized for async. Okay, now how do we acquire
the lock? On the mutex you call lock, so it will be probably node lock
and dot insert dot.
I'm not sure. We have to look probably the documentation.
Okay, you get a mutex guard. Let's see if we can get an example here. So they do
lock
await. Okay, so this is because of course this is gonna be blocking. I think if you use the one from the standard library, it's just gonna block the main thread until you can acquire the lock. So this is probably just using async. Perfect. Okay. So we do await. Okay, let's just do this.
Assign to a variable, yes, so we see what's there.
And then guard dot insert. Do you need to unwrap?
Not sure.
No, you don't need to unwrap, just await. Okay.
Let's await.
So this is a mutex guard, and then how do they write there? So this is just giving you the lock, or then the reference. So the reference this. If I can type. And insert. Why? This probably needs to be mutable as well. Yes. Okay. Now this is empty.
It's happy now.
But why is it complaining here?
It's complaining up there.
I'm not sure why is it complaining there.
What are we returning from that function?
This one?
Response, I mean, is fine in theory.
Let me try to remove this one for a second. I'm just curious if it fixes the problem there. It does.
Yeah.
So it doesn't like this particular route, somehow messes up with something.
So what is complaining about? Our return type is not something he likes?
Okay, let me re-enable it. So serve doesn't like the type of application anymore. Okay, this is where I have no idea. So if anyone watching knows what this is about, please help. Otherwise, we'll need to search somewhere.
This guy WGAF is suggesting a cargo check from the command line to see.
Good point. See the error a little bit better. So it is saying the trait tower service request body. So it definitely doesn't like our request body. It's not implemented for router string. Maybe it doesn't like string. But what else can we get if it's not a string? Is there any suggestion there?
Just get roboti without putting the string in the angular brackets.
So you are suggesting basically
In the
just
function,
here?
yeah, remove the angular strings there. Remove that. You just keep robody. Okay, now body, what it is, body now? Body now is a assign or do body
Oh
dot
yeah,
or assign.
body to string, I guess, or to
Yeah,
vec.
what is
Okay,
what is body?
what is
Can you
body?
get the types of
Let
body?
x equal body. Body. It's type body. So what can we do with
Okay.
x? Try into. We can try to convert it to a string.
Yeah, trying to string. Again, let's see what.
And now we can say body content. Doesn't like that. It cannot be converted into a string. Okay, can we convert it to a vector of U8? Like binary thing? Not that as well. Oh, we have a new follower. Thank you, Frank Pareo. Thank you for following us. How are you today?
Try .fmt
.fmt where? After body?
on the body. Body.fmt. Can you do that? No. Yeah. And then
Where did you find this?
the documentation of Robody, but it's not clear what it does. You have an extra. Yeah. Now go to a string instead of a vector of U8, can't you?
No, but
The
it
type
doesn't
of
like FNT. What do you have? Oh, a formatter needs. I have no idea what that is. Not a format string. Okay, let me.
Okay, let's take a JSON.
Now I want to see if there are some examples here on how to get. So custom structure error form. So it is possible to even get forms. JWT key value store. There is already a key value store. Maybe we should check this one. Okay, what are they doing here? So there is body bytes, by the way, which could be interesting. Let's see where they use these bytes. Here, from request. So this is probably very similar to what we are trying to do. Upstate, bytes. Where else do they use bytes? Also interesting that there is a way to create state without lazy static. So probably what we did could be simplified, but let's maybe look at that later. Now, where are defining these bytes? What if you just pass bytes? Okay, I think I get it now. So you can just pass bytes rather than using this body thing. If we just say bytes, we need to import it, of course, from Axum body bytes. And now we can probably do body content as a string.
Okay, so now we are taking bytes as input.
Is it a stream?
There is everything on body now.
Yeah.
Iter, do you want to iter through the body bytes?
Because I thought I could do something like as you UTF-8.
Into iter collect? Oh, it's not a bad idea. But the type is wrong.
But you probably can collect into this. Okay, like because to convert from this, we need to do let body content string from UTF-8. That's all we want. Now this wrap, maybe we should do that if it's not valid UTF-8.
Yeah, if it's an invalid string, throw an error. Yeah.
To do handle
error. Thank you, compiler. Why are we paid at work?
Okay, that seems going in a better direction. Now this body is
body content str.
Exactly.
So we have to pass the right string.
Okay, and the other to do is let's put it here. Generalize state rather than lazy static.
Okay, that was the other stuff that you found while. Okay, let's see if this endpoint is working. The cloud.
Now, I want to do another quick thing. I want to do derive serialize struct. Not exactly, that's what I wanted to do. Thank you, Copilot. So I want to return this.
The bool, okay.
Yeah, not just the ID, but JSON. So let's create a new node. Let new node equal node where ID and content body, and then we return JSON of new node. What did I do wrong?
Nothing. It's just compiled.
This is moved in here. So let's do like you always do, a clone. and then we
because one is going in the HashMap, the other one is coming with us. But when you read and when you read from the HashMap later, you have to clone even when reading from the HashMap.
Good question.
Okay, you just pass a reference to what's in the HashMap.
Maybe when you read, you get a reference.
Okay,
we'll see that about that. Okay,
but at this point, we can the content here can be instead of a string, a reference to a string, and you can take the reference back from the HashMap.
The content can be a reference to a string.
When you define a node, instead of defining a UUID and a string, you can define a reference to a UUID and a reference to a string.
I think that might work just because our HashMap is static, so the lifetime is probably going to be enough. Like Rust is not gonna complain, but let's keep that. Let's put another.
Let's keep cloning for now. Okay, cool.
Let's put another to do there because I like it. To do remove the
clone and
if
work
you
with references.
Okay, so this should be rerunning. So now we have a create node, which is just nodes that we can post to, and it should do something for us. So I have here this guy.
To be completely restful, it should be node and not nodes, but I don't care.
Let's fix it immediately.
Don't mind me.
So HTTP request, HTTP localhost 3000 node needs to be a post and needs to be a JSON. No, just a text. So plain. What do we want to send? Axum.
Go with a lorem ipsum.
Like it?
Yes, I like it. And if we send this, what happens? Crash.
It did work. No, it did work. Because our ID, I don't know if you can read it. Maybe this is too small.
Yeah, I don't know. I can read it. It was just a little bit of latency in the video, probably.
Cool. So let's try to send something else.
Now, let's try to best. Yeah. Try to put an emoticon just to see if we crash everything.
Emoticon should be still valid.
Yeah, in theory, still valid UTF-8.
Yeah, works. So how do we do something that is not valid UTF-8?
Oh, no idea. From this application, from the command line, probably we can escape.
If you do like a random urandom, if you read from urandom, you don't get a lot of crap.
By you throw in 2 random bytes, it will be enough to crash it.
How do you throw 2 random bytes?
Go. Okay.
What if we take a file? Okay, let's do a screenshot of this. And we send the screenshot of this. So binary file, switch body type, choose file. We take that screenshot. Yes. Now it should explode. It did explode. Server return nothing. Okay.
What happened in the console?
Let's see what happened in the console. Cargo watch.
Okay.
Interesting error. It's printing the entire world. Wow, it did fill the entire thing. But it's UTF-8 error, which is what we expected.
Yes.
It didn't really crash the server, which is interesting. It just failed that request.
Still running,
which is good, but we can do better. What I'm expecting
from a web server.
So
now the get /node/UUID in the meantime ads are running.
So do we want to try to fix this now or what?
No, let's do the get endpoint, but let's wait a moment. Okay, we are back online. Let's try to do the get endpoint, then we address all the to do.
Okay, so let's do the get endpoint. So we do
the get is still /node/
yeah,
the UUID
I have no idea how to do
that. Well, we
maybe this works. Let's try.
Oh, makes sense. Now what do we have to write in get node? Let's see if Copilot is so smart. Let's see get node.
Oh, that might be interesting. It can also cast to UUID, which is even more interesting. Okay, let's go with this. Let's go with this. Let me see if it makes sense. So it's basically saying that it's trying to read. It's trying to get a lock on the state to read it. Then it gets the current node by ID, which
that is an option.
Supposedly, is matching it. Then tries to match the node because of course might be there, might not be there. So if there is one, is going to return the node as it is, content clone. So it is cloning the string for now.
Yeah, but okay.
And this is fine. Now, this is content not found. Why didn't it like it? This message not found. It looks reasonable to me. So what's wrong with it?
Yeah, something about the typing.
Check. The trait handler is not implemented for this guy. Wait. Expected struct node found struct message.
It can't send two different type of JSON. The JSON should be of the same type.
Really?
Seems that the problem. If you send the JSON node with error written in it, probably there will be a way of making a union, right?
But then we'll need to have a UUID.
Yeah, you can put the same UUID that comes from.
Okay, let's just do something very quickly. This is crap, but whatever. Let's not return the ID and let's just return message.
Okay.
Now it is the same type, right? Oh,
Yeah,
I removed the message by mistake.
Capital M. Okay.
Okay,
so now it should be fine.
That's interesting.
There will be a way of having a type that in Rust for sure there is a way to have a type that.
Is there a way to just do serialize? Does it give us what?
A string? Do you want to return just a string? Yeah, but then it's not adding the headers probably.
Because Serdi has a generic JSON type, which allows you to handle like generic kind of JSONs when you don't really know the structure. So I'm wondering if that's the response. What happens?
But at the moment, is this working? My question.
To use different types of JSON response and switch back to node rather than generic message. Okay, so let's see if this works. So if we go here, back again, and we send not a file, we send a plain, yes, and we say hello folks. We send that. Why didn't it work?
Then you have to copy. Sorry, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Channel, are you there?
I can hear you.
Okay, sorry, you went away, at least for me, for a while. So is Cargo Watch still running or is sad?
Oh no, there is an error. That's why it didn't work. Get node. It didn't like it. Why? Why it didn't like it? Okay, I don't know if it's able to understand this UUID as it is there.
Yeah, probably is not able to pass that UUID.
What if we put just string?
And then we create the UUID from the string.
Do an into? No, let's see the UUID crate.
Yes, there will be.
Oh, we can probably use this thing.
Okay. It's a macro. But can you use a macro on a variable? Yeah.
I think so. But do we need to import this macro? Come on, what's the actual error?
You don't need. Okay, no, you can't.
There was another problem. Now what's the problem? No. UID is scope, but it is a crate, not a macro. Oh, we need to import it like this. Okay, fair enough. So we need to import it.
In line 13. Yeah. Now is in scope as.
Now it is not liking that. Als str. No.
Try to add back the round brackets after the reference.
No, I think you can use this macro just with a row string.
Okay, yeah, so
like
you need
this.
something else. There will be a method in UUID from colon from string. Come on.
I hope so. Parse string. There you go.
That.
Now this probably needs to do a wrap because whatever. Is this the parenthesis? Yes.
Yeah, then we have to try to pass something that is an invalid UUID and see it. End of error,
Exactly. Okay, now is this making it happy? This is happy. So this can be a string. Okay, now it should be running. So let's see what's going on.
Try to post again.
Let's try to post again. We get hello folks. So now we should be able to
copy
take
the UUID. Yeah.
Let's do a
Create
new
get.
HTTP request, get HTTP localhost 3000 note and this
note
guy.
and the UID. What happens?
Server return nothing, no headers, no data.
Good.
Okay, let's
What
go
crashed?
to the What did we do wrong? Error, simple length. I have a feeling the UUID doesn't like, sorry, this syntax here. You see that here doesn't have the dashes?
Yeah, but there is a way to go from the one with the dashes back to. There should be a way. Come on. It's impossible that there is no way in the library.
Yeah, I wonder if this parse string, if there are different ones.
Let me Google it. Rust UID. Are you sure that the macro is not working? Was not because of. Try to assign the macro to a variable before.
It is definitely failing in line 67, which is where we do data wrap. So it is definitely failing here.
Yeah, try to use the macro again on top of ID, but assign that to a variable. Don't do that everything in. Don't do everything in line there.
So let UUID equal. It is giving us this. We were saying this.
UUID exclamation mark of ID. Okay. No, still.
Yeah, I
not
didn't
happening.
expect this token. I think that works only with like if you put a string literal there as a token.
Sorry, I just wanted to confirm this.
I'm just curious if there is another parse stuff.
There is a from GUID, but no, but he wants another GUID. Okay, nothing. Sorry. This is quite dumb if you are not able to pass back exactly what it gives out.
Yeah, exactly.
In theory, it's taking hyphenated UUID. In the documentation, say that it works.
UID before.
Parse str. What are we using? Yeah, if you go in the documentation, in theory, it's working. You see there.
Yeah, that's the
Try to
exact
debug what we get
right. Oh, you mean that the
Axum.
ID maybe is not what we
Yeah,
expect.
let's see
Okay.
what is inside ID. Maybe in ID we have some garbage for the tree, or with the slash, or with an extra stuff around, and that is
Yeah,
enough to make it
fair
fail.
point. So this is rerunning now. Let's post, send, failing.
So you can get it will if it restarted,
It's
it will
empty.
just.
It's empty. That's why.
Yeah, okay, that is fine. Why? But why is empty?
Good question. I have a
How
feeling
do
that
you?
you don't use an ID like this. You need to do something
Yeah,
like
you
I don't
need
know,
something. So
path parameter or
path
something like that, and
parameters.
then string, something like this. I would expect. Maybe it's just path.
Yeah, try path.
I'm gonna take a educated guess based on what we have seen so far.
Yeah, path, and then you can do path. Try path UUID instead of path string on the right to just have
But is it
directly a
just
UU.
path? I want to see Axum
Yeah,
extract
yeah,
path. Okay. Let's see if this works first. If we
yeah.
get here
Okay,
the value.
okay, cool. But I think at this point we can do path
Okay,
UUID.
not found
Fine, it's true.
because we restarted.
Because it,
Yeah.
yeah, we restarted, so the memory
But
went
what did we
away.
get here? Did we got the right value? Now let's see if we can
Yeah,
do a UUID.
yes. And at this point we removed the parsing in line 70.
And at this point, we just get rid of all of
ID.
this and we do ID. Interesting enough, doesn't complain. I'm curious to see what happens if we
Now
send
let's call it.
something. Yeah, we were getting a UUID. And this
Yep.
is an actual object.
Yes.
It's not just a string because it doesn't have
Mhm.
the dashes.
But that is the reference to the ID. It's not the ID.
Oh, because
Or
if you do
no.
debug, it's gonna
Okay, okay.
it's gonna
Sorry.
move it. So I put a reference just to avoid
Yeah. You're
the.
right. You're right. Yeah, it's without the hyphen because it's the binary representation in memory of the UUID. So we simplified. Cool. Now, question: what happens if you post a wrong UUID? Get with a wrong UUID is failing in the path
Probably it's
parsing.
like if we say blah, right? This is not a valid UUID. Is that what you're
Yeah.
suggesting?
Mm-hmm.
Invalid UID, parsing failed, blah blah blah.
Is already a super.
And it's a 400, so it's quite good.
Yeah, it's a good answer. I mean, you're wrong because of this 400. Better request. Go home. Perfect.
Okay, now let's try to do again the hello folks. We get a new ID.
Yeah. Yeah. We copy and
We
paste.
copy there. We go here and send. What do we get? Hello, folks. We didn't get the UUID because we generalized message for now, which is maybe something else we'll need to fix.
What do you want to try to remove? I would try to generalize instead of removing the clone. The clone is fine for now. Who cares?
To generalize the response, you mean?
Yeah, to be able to respond a note or an error message. I mean, it's something that happens all the time with REST.
Yes, I have a feeling. Let's try to do something. Let's try here to say
feelings.
Let's try to do this. Let's try to do it in another way. Let's say if note is known, we can just return this. But here,
we return,
can we do serialize? Yeah, I'm just curious if this JSON can be converted to a generic set JSON. Let me try
because
something.
that JSON is giving back a message type. Is a message JSON.
JSON. Okay, you see, this will be what we want to do. But I'm curious if we can do that from a generic JSON object. Isn't it this way? Maybe it's JSON all uppercase. Oh, it's JSON value. It's called value, I think. No? Not a good
get
memory.
what you're trying to do.
So let me go to the documentation of Serdi.
But do you think it's something that you have to solve through CERD or through the Rust typing system?
What I'm trying to do is basically return a generic CERD JSON as a type, which is...
at that point can represent an error message or a note.
Exactly.
Okay, you're trying to do that? Okay.
Now I'm trying to find the documentation, examples. There is definitely generic JSON somewhere. Overview. JSON. Oh yeah, because CERD is very generic. Then you need to use CERD JSON for JSON itself. So
can you return? Sorry for the stupid question, but can you return an enum? The enum can be an error or a note, and then in the two types you have parameters.
I think if we implement this IntoResponse ourselves, probably yes. There will be some kind of method here that we need to implement. Yeah. Or we use this generic response object.
No, I was thinking doing JSON of the enum type.
You need to define insert the auto structure that kind of enum type. Yeah.
It's not for free.
I think it requires some configuration if for the little I know about this stuff. But basically what I'm trying to do, I think I'm getting close if I remember correct. So we need to do cargo add serdi JSON. So to rephrase, serdi is just a generic serialization deserialization library that can implement YAML, TOML, JSON, your own custom format. Then you have serdi JSON, which is, okay, now it's getting what I want, which has this generic value type, which can be any generic
JSON.
Exactly. So here is just taking whatever string we passed here and converting into a JSON. And this is going to be like a tree where initially you have an object, then inside the object you have the first key is a
you
string.
have all the JSON structure.
Exactly, and this other value is a JSON, certain JSON value of type string. So this is literally an enum with null, boolean, number, string, array. So this is just implementing all the possible data types in JSON. Okay, now rather than doing this, what I want to do is doing this. So this is of type JSON message. I'm just curious if we can just say error dot serialize. Serialize. Why does it need a serializer? Or can we use try or into work?
It's complaining that. Or can you make error into a string and pass the string as a shared JSON value? No.
Or what if we don't pass JSON there? So it's just a message. And we do serialize that. So how do you use row?
Row serializer static functions. From string? No, it's not from string. It's from an object.
Yeah, we want to do the opposite. From an object. By serializing data structure. So that's what we want. Shared serialize. So this is an address. Shared JSON to string address. Okay. But this is just giving us a string, a JSON string.
Seems so.
Which could
but if we give back a string, the problem is that Axum will not put the header. I mean, for now, probably it's fine. We can add the header manually, but seems a little bit dirty to me.
Yes. I'm just curious if we do a JSON of this guy of error. Sorry, let me do this. We do to value of error.
What will error be?
If we do this.
And then we return the JSON of error there. Okay. Seems quite fine, except that now we have to do the same for the node.
Why doesn't do that? Oh, because I have a... No? Needs to be split into parts. Okay. So I'm just going to move this one here. Now we need to do a generic JSON also for the node. So we can remove the match. So we can do let node equal...
to node open...
node is already a
type. There was not the type called node? I think so.
So what we can do is this, set the JSON value equals set the JSON to value, node unwrap, and now we want to return this.
You don't have to do node unwrap somewhere because node is an option, no?
Yes, node unwrap here.
Yeah, because node is an optional. But
here,
the unwrap is safe because if he was known and we already went through another branch. So you can unwrap safely here.
So here is not complaining anymore.
Okay,
So
let's
maybe
see what is coming back.
Okay, now this error we are handling it, right?
Yeah, we are handling it because the framework is doing that for us, and if it's known, we are handling the
Okay, cool. So let's see if this is running now. It is running. Let's try again. So we post a new one. Hello, folks. It serve the JSON. That did work. So we take this. We go here. We change that. Oh, it's just a string though.
It's just a string. He lost the JSON header in the end.
But because probably I did it wrong. No, wait. The JSON header is there. Content type application JSON. Of course, the
It's
body.
a JSON string.
The body, yeah, is not an object because our fault. Because we just took the note as it is. We didn't recreate.
We didn't recreate the object. Oh, you're right.
So let's
Yeah,
do.
we have to create no capital note.
And now let note equal that. And now
Yeah, but not message clone. No, message clone. Yeah, because you wrote message. Okay, so.
Yeah, can we just do? I don't think we need the clone. Do we? Because it's a reference. Yeah, when you unwrap, it's a reference. Okay, yes, we need to clone because otherwise we are moving it out from the.
We have to do from the HashMap. We have to do to get rid of the cloning stuff. Let's not focus on that.
Okay, now we should get, again, we need to create another one because everything is in memory. New request. Okay, this is what we want. And if we pass, I don't know, E, assuming that this is a valid UID, not found. Perfect. So now we are returning two different types of JSON by using the raw served JSON value as the kind of uniform data type.
So the get node will have only one type of return type and not two like we were trying before.
Exactly, which is the same. That type both implement IntoResponse, but it's the same type.
Yeah, otherwise the function will be of two different types and will not it will complain. Cool. Do we want to try to make it static or we call a day for today?
I think we can call it a day for today. I don't know if in the chat anyone asks questions that we can try to reply. As you can see, we are not experts at all, so we can only try to reply. But even if you have suggestions,
I have a question.
We can try next time.
I have a question, and the question is: are you going to put this in a repository?
Let's do a quick repository right now,
so we can share with the audience if they like to submit pull requests.
New. The work, yes. So trying Axum experiments with Axum as a framework. So don't do anything, create a repository. Now what we want to do is this. So init this, and now git status. We need to.
You are inside the SRC or are you in the folder above?
I want to make sure we don't add the target, which is already ignored. So there was already a git ignore, which is good. So when you do cargo new, gives you a git ignore. So git add all. Hi Samuelson, thank you for the follow. How are you today?
Thank you, guys.
Leave us a message in the chat. We'd love to know how you found out about this stream and what are you looking for. Okay, so git commit am, first commit after first stream.
After the apocalypse.
Ooh, it's using master. It's not using main. Shame of me. I have to fix that.
Ah, perfect. Master.
Okay.
Master is the way.
Master of puppets, you full of despair. Okay, now we should go here and we should see some stuff. Like there is no README, so apologies. We'll add the README at
We
some
will
point.
add a README, yeah.
But you can find all our code in
For
here.
today, yes.
Okay, so that's everything we have for the day. So thank you very much for being with us. What we will try to do next time is probably continue a little bit more with Axum. I think it could be interesting to experiment
with some
more.
permanent storage of the HashMap asynchronously. Let's see if we can do some SQLite or something like that.
Yeah, we did have a very quick look while we were preparing for the stream on this script called SQLX, which seems to be kind of an abstraction on top of different SQL engines. So it seems we can use it for SQLite locally, but then it's something you can use in production with something like Postgres or MySQL. So it could be interesting to try to start to store something in a database, maybe just a SQLite for now, but just to get a feeling of how that would look like if we were building like a real production web server. And maybe we should also have a better look at the other examples in the Axum repository, just to get a better feeling for how the API looks like, what can you do, and maybe there are many opportunities for improvement there. If you have any comments or questions, or you want to send us a PR to teach us how to fix all our to-dos and silly mistakes, you are definitely more than welcome. You have the repository, please do it. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to follow on Twitch so you can check out the live stream.
Yeah, follow, subscribe, all the stuff that the real YouTubers say.
Okay, so we are gonna start a raid and we will see you next time. Thank you very much, everyone.
Bye.